हमारा है सेशन इंशाल्लाह। हम यहाँ टूल्स लर्न करना स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं मैम, तो लेट्स स्टार्ट इंशाल्लाह विद द नेम ऑफ अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला।
So today is our first session on the tools that we need to learn to build a relationship, to build, to how do we resolve conflict. So we've now reached the tools. 3 sections hamare cover hoye. We did quite well in them. You're all progressing, alhamdulillah, on the lessons. We can see that we started with this, right? This was our section 1. We all now know that conflicts are a part of life, right? We all know this. Conflicts cannot be undone. They are going to be part of our life. They are there. It's how we handle them that matters. We know what a problem is, how we define a problem, what is a problem for us, what is not a problem for us. We also know the 5 ways of dealing with conflict. We know the levels of conflict, and we, I think, all realize that the relationships that matter to us, when we should handle the conflict earlier on and not let it build up. And then in this section 1, we went into levels of understanding that somewhere we are okay with hello, hi, somewhere we are okay with transactional, it's okay, we don't want to go further. And then we go into personal relationships, and some are very awkward, which is the first level. So we covered this in the first one, then we went on to the causes of conflict. And all these things carry on into the tools. So you have to carry that knowledge forward with you. So we covered the 4 areas of conflict, and last session we did on the personality differences. So on the personality differences, I have a question for you. Does the consciousness level have any impact on the conflicts you will have with a person? Does their consciousness level have with the number of conflicts you will have, or type of conflicts you will have?
It's the basic factor in any conflict or relationship. It's the baseline.
Why? What's the reason?
Because consciousness level, like we make our decisions according to our consciousness level. So in everything, in every relationship, everything depends on our consciousness level.
Yeah, that's right. So
it affects our decision making.
Yeah, we're looking through a lens. We are filtering everything. We're not seeing it the way it is, right? Depending if you're on a lower consciousness level, then we are not seeing the whole truth. We're seeing it from our little biases and prejudices. So obviously the power differences will be there, the data differences will be there. Everything we will look from our own angle, right? So this one we looked at last time, and I hope this is understood that we are on a consciousness level. Every one of us is on the consciousness level. We go into false self. Every one of us does that. And our whole journey is of staying in true self. That is how we have to return to Allah Ta'ala as pure. Purity means that all the wrong beliefs are gone. We are in our true fitrah that we were blessed with when we were born. So we said that emotional intelligence of a person will vary with their consciousness level. Yeah, you agree with that? The lower they are on the consciousness level, their emotional intelligence will also be lower. So don't expect to get empathy from them, and don't expect them to be, very better response to you on a situation if they are on a lower consciousness level. Right? If they're on a higher one, of course they will. Then we talked about the mind. Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with. We logically think. We are very analytical. And we said it had nothing to do with where you were on the consciousness level. You could be highly intelligent, highly intellectual, and you could have a low consciousness level, or you could have a high consciousness level. Yeah? You agree with that? Yes? Okay. Yes. So, yes. So, and then we are saying that people who are on the lower consciousness level are stuck in the material world because their attention is on themselves. They are more into surviving here. It's just very hard for them. They perceive threats in the current environment. They can't rise to the taqwa level. So they are stuck in materialism. This world matters a lot to them. You know, so you can't automatically think, why don't they look at it this way? You know, something is there that is blocking their perception, and that's why. And as you go higher, you get more emotionally intelligent, and as you go further higher, you're more into very high levels of spirituality, where you know, your perception and looking at things gets wider and wider, and you're more able to see things as they truly. Okay, so we understand this area, right? And now I just want to cover this point because it's been coming up in the assignments. You know, you come across these things on the net where people are being labeled. Personalities are being labeled. They are paranoid, deep-seated distrust, narcissistic है, superiority है, बहुत admiration की need है, you know, and you go on through the list of how people are. And these labels are getting not only they're used for, should be used for psychology and psychiatry, which is what they consider to be the profession there. Although you know, they have to first recognize, in my view, the spiritual being before they start looking at the area of psychiatry or psychology. But in any case, then once they are labeled, then the methodologies are coming out with how do you deal with this person. If he's a narcissistic, do this, then do that. Don't say this, don't do that. So my question to you is that what is personality labeling and what does it achieve? What do you think it achieves? Any answers?
Couldn't understand the question, sorry.
You know, we are saying the labels have come out: paranoid, narcissistic, histrionic, meaning dramatic attention seeker. ये depressive personality है, persistent sadness में है. These labels are coming out and people are using them on each other, right? And the methods are also coming out on how to handle such people. So my question to you is, what does this labeling achieve?
We will use the tools that we are learning, but we can't label the persons.
Yeah.
So when you label somebody, you unconsciously treat the person the way you are labeling them. Like, you know, even though it may be it's just for some time you just saw him or her like that, but if you keep it in mind, oh, this is the person is like that, you will always, you know, treat him according to the label.
Absolutely right. So you've labeled him, and who have you labeled? Who have you labeled? You've labeled a false self. You've not labeled a true self, because you can't.
These terms are very professional, and every one of us who does not have a proper knowledge of psychology, they cannot label others like this. And this is just disinformation and misinformation, and which will mislead our behaviors towards them.
Absolutely right. It will mislead. Yeah. And it's actually a labeling. From what we have studied, those of you who are on the workshop know that it is labeling a person in false self. So can we say that a person who is narcissistic, superiority, admiration needed, and we've studied the consciousness scale. Now, I understand those people who have not got to this stage of our learning may find it hard to, understand my question. But that person could be anywhere on the consciousness scale. Am I right?
Yeah, your question was when we label, what do we achieve? What does that achieve? That labeling, the act of labeling. So, one thought come to me is that when I label someone, I sort of give up my responsibility, or I don't count myself responsible in that relationship. So I don't have to do anything now because they're narcissists. So that takes me off of, So basically, I'm looking for a shortcut in the relationship, so I won't have to put any effort because they are narcissists. So I need to take responsibility and see how I can make sure to work with them or just about whatever is going on. So conscious decision rather than quick labeling and then move on. It's like, oh, they're hopeless, they're narcissists.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely right. So we are all agreeing we should not label, right? It's not the right approach. And it's a false self anyway. It could be on any consciousness level as well. Yeah. So you're not really gaining anything from doing that. So I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of it and you don't, there's a lot of methodology out there as well to handle these type of people. So please be careful about this thing. It's not really the correct way to go about helping that person. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we said that, we've been studying the Quran, we've looked at the life of messengers, prophets, we look at history, and we see that everywhere, including ourselves, we at times become kafir, we at times are a zalim person. Do you agree? We're not all the time this saint, are we? We're making mistakes, we're going off. So our quest is that we rise to that true self. And we take everyone along with us. And people are, just like us, in false self at times, in true self at times. And we have to recognize it and help them along this journey. Yeah? Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Let me go back. All right. So now we come to our tools of understanding, tools for developing understanding, which would be how you would build relationship and resolve conflict. Right. So understanding, we use the term understanding, and it's actually when you have an understanding with a person, you can communicate with them. It's like a bridge. If I have an understanding with Sister Safia, then I can communicate clearly to her. I can collaborate with her very effectively. And if we have a conflict, if we have the understanding, we can resolve it peacefully. So understanding would be the basis. I would need that. I would need to understand what she thinks. She would need to see what I think. And then we can clearly communicate, collaborate, and resolve whatever differences we have, right? So in terms of understanding, it just doesn't limit itself to people. Understanding is about a word. It's about a subject, it's about a thing, it's about a skill. A thing could be your laptop, it could be a skill, could be you could learn to understand how painting is done, how public speaking is done. You could understand a person, you could understand a group, you could understand an idea, right? So understanding applies to everything in life. And your personal well-being depends upon your degree of understanding. Your personal well-being depends on it. Your relationships, whether they are personal or professional, depend on your understanding. And the state of society today and every day depends on the degree of understanding we have within it. So we'll go into more deeply into this area. So if you are understanding a skill, maybe gardening or something like that, or you're understanding, you're working in a team or in a family or professionally, you are grasping the skill, the concept, the person you're talking to, and you're then better able to make decisions, avoid mistakes, and create positive outcomes if you have that understanding. So if I say that I have no understanding, or I have understanding with Sister Shama, what does that mean? What does it mean? If I say I have an understanding with Shama.
You have same kind of conscious level?
Yeah, I would say, no, not necessarily, Sister Chazizia. It would mean I understand her, wherever she is, whatever her consciousness level, I understand her thinking. I understand her emotion. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah?
Right. You
Yes, thank you.
understand where she's
Yes.
coming from, what her
Yeah,
thought process, her
yeah,
background.
exactly. And I have no understanding. We say, oh, I have no understanding with that person. I don't have any understanding with him. Just don't have any idea about it, right? So,
You cannot think and communicate properly. I think understanding is about communication. That you can speak to the other person, and you can that person can speak to you effectively, exchanging the ideas. And
yeah,
if there is any problem, that conflict we are talking about, we can clearly state our conflict, and then we can work to resolve it. I think this is about understanding.
yeah, that's a good way to put it, Sister Sam.
इंग्लिश बोल दी सी ना
So,
है
we
ना
are looking at, you know,
मैं एक दो फ्लाई पढ़ने में तेरे मोबाइल पे की जगह था सही
Sister
बोल दी सी
Shreya.
Ma'am, I need buttons. Control.
So I make you the co-host.
No. Yes, now I am. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So we are saying, can understanding be created? And how can it be created? This is what we are trying to do in this tools area, the section 4 of our course, right? We're seeing how can understanding be created and how can it be created? With anyone, with anything. So let's move forward. So in terms of understanding, when we say understanding is applies to everything, have you ever, started a study of a subject or gone into a class or started a workshop and you were very excited about it, and then after a while you dropped it and said, "Oh, it's not for me." Has it happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
So
often.
yeah, and what we are saying is, when most people go into medical lines, into engineering lines, into computer sciences, I'm very excited, I'm going to do this and I'm going to change the world and I'm going to bring out something, and then they, after 6 months or so, say, "This is not for me." And what has actually happened is that the nomenclature, the terminology in those subjects was not understood.
Mm.
You don't understand the exact words that are being used in the medical field or in the electronic field. And then you say, "Oh, nahi samajh mein aati. I don't understand it. I'm dropping it. It's not for me." So understanding is key in terms of, especially if you're specializing in a subject, that you must look at the keywords and understand them. We also notice in our relationships that we keep repeating the same thing. Maybe with your children or with your spouse or with a friend, you say, "How many times have I told you not to do this?" What is that? That shows there's a lack of understanding. There's a lack of understanding because the person has heard this sentence. The sentence is understood, but this situation is not understood by you, and you keep repeating that sentence. Also, amongst ourselves, we have the same arguments. Families with families have same arguments. Spouses have same arguments. Friends might have same arguments. Again, the understanding is not there. That's why you're having to have the same arguments again and again, right? So countries also get into the same thing, don't understand the issues. So what is understanding composed of? It's composed of 3 things. And we're going to cover one area in today's session. And if one of the three things is missing, there will be no understanding. So you have to make sure that three of them are present. And if all are present and you increase one of them, the understanding will go up. So that's the formula you have to remember in order to make progress on this. The other thing you have to remember is that understanding is not achieved in one go. It's a journey. Yeah. How many times do we see that, initially the married couple invest so much time in each other. They listen to each other, they all talk about things, everything. And then after that, there's no investment. Right? I think, yeah. So what happens is that you assume now, I know this person. You can do it even with a child. You talk to them and then you assume that you know this child now. But the point is the child is changing. The spouse is also changing. The environment is changing. Their beliefs are changing. They're growing, they're growing in so many ways. So understanding is not a one-stop. You have to invest in it. If I talked to Safia a week ago, and I don't talk to Safia for 1 week, my understanding is out with her. Because I don't know what's been going on. And I have to build up my understanding again. Yeah, does that make sense? Because we make this mistake, especially with close ones, that we know them. We understand them. Yeah? And it's a constant investment of time and effort to understand people. So our job is to develop the three components so that we can have a greater, deeper knowledge of the area, whether it's a person or a subject or anything. It will empower us if we develop the three areas and empower us in every aspect of life, and it'll make our relationships very successful too. Okay, here's a quiz for you now. So you're going to tell me true or false. Understanding applies to people, activities, subjects, ideas, and culture. What do you say?
Yes. True.
False. Yeah.
False.
It's true.
False how? True, yeah.
Somebody saying false? Iman, why do you say it's false? Understanding applies to people, activities, subjects, ideas, cultures. Is there a question there? You can ask any questions, okay. Yeah, we have to understand cultures. Cultures are different. We talked to Mr. Niket at the start. There's different cultures and different manners. We have to understand them. The mannerism is different in different cultures, right? So we have understanding applies to people, activities, applies to everything in life. You're born with understanding, it cannot be developed. True, false?
False.
Okay, all right. Okay, good. I got it. I'm glad you got it, Iman. So conflicts in people and countries occur due to lack of understanding.
True.
Yes, true.
It is impossible to intentionally create understanding.
False.
False.
Yeah, false.
Yeah, okay. A lack of understanding can cause you to lose interest in the subject.
True.
True. Okay, good. So let's look at the first component of understanding. Yeah, what is that first component of understanding? So it's called affinity. Affinity means the emotional attitudes and degree of liking you have. Right? In Urdu, you say unsiyat, jazbati ravaiya, pasandidgi ka darja. Yeah. So it's an essential component of understanding. What is that? Affinity. So you have affinity for, you could have it for a word, and then you would have a full concept of it. A subject, a thing, a skill, person, group, idea, relationships. Your affinity is directly determining your understanding. So a high affinity would mean you are more likely to understand that area better. Very low affinity in itself dictates, your understanding will be very low. Yeah. Let's take some examples as well. All right. So we look at this thing here. Everybody is, you can see the low affinity and high affinity. You know, at the bottom here, this girl has got intense aversion. Do you think she's going to understand that thing, whatever she's studying? Or no, she's not. You know, you go to unexpressed disguise, you're showing you're a friend, but you're really feeling threatened by it, your understanding is not going to be there. It's going to be very limited, if at all. Hate would not give you that understanding either. Your affinity level is dictating your understanding, whether it be a subject or a topic or a relationship, anything, a skill. If you have that attitude, it's going to impact on your understanding. And we go up the scale. Somebody at boredom is also going to not be that interested or not understand it because their affinity is not there. And as you go higher, the curiosity comes up and then you have a passion for it, right? So affinity, the amount of affinity you have determines your understanding. That's what we understand from this area. Let's move forward on it. So here's a guy. Here's a guy, right? And if you have intense aversion for this person, you know, you're fearful of him, is there going to be any understanding?
No.
No, you're just going to run away. You're not going to have anything to do with them if you're in intense aversion. Yeah. If you are in covert hostility, which is unexpressed disguise thing, you'd probably show you're not frightened and all is okay. But inside you're really scared. You're still not going to develop an understanding of him or be able to help him or find out what's wrong because you're so introverted in yourself. Right? And as you go up, hate would do the same. It's not going to give you understanding. Here also at boredom, you're not going to get it. But as you go beyond boredom, the likelihood of understanding comes up. So you have to watch your degree of liking. Does that make sense? Good. All right. So you're a unique person. We're all unique. We've had our own upbringing, our own beautiful parents. We've had our culture, our education, our experience, and people, and makes us different. It makes us all different. So which of the things would you say your affinity level is of intense aversion? Could be spiders or anything. I've written a few lists here. You know, tell me what you would feel fearful. Anything you'd be fearful of, you can do in the chat. Do you fear anything? Spiders? A mice or I don't know. Yeah. Oh,
Mother?
okay, lizard. Okay, lizards. Yeah. A lot of people have that, right? So you could go up and find anything you hate, anything you're bored about. Give us a few things. Okay, snakes. Yes. Okay. Anger, something you are angry about. Makes you to anger. Like your affinity level is anger. Give me a few.
Anger towards these items in the list? Oh.
Yeah, any you don't have to follow
Oh, anything. Oh, okay.
anything.
Yeah.
What do you feel angry about?
Okay.
Dirty room, okay. Dirty room makes me angry, okay, good. Endless arguments make me angry, okay, good. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, is endless argument watching two people argue or being involved then? Because if you're involved, then you have to end it at your end.
Yeah,
It
just
can't be
looking
like,
at what is our
like
affinity. You're just looking at the affinity level, not going further into that. We'll see how to apply the tools later. So you can see you can be bored about some things. Kids not listening, you get angry about that. Repeatedly making the same mistakes. Yes, we can get angry about that. Something you're in boredom about. Don't really care here or there. What would that be? Bored about it. Yeah, sisters are someone making me agree by force to their views. He would get angry about them. Yeah. Boredom? Boredom, are you feel bored about something? When my kids talk about, my husband and my boys talk about software, and types of software, I get very bored. Not interested. Yes? What do you get bored about? Get bored about something? I just kind of switch off. Bored with the routine, okay. Discussions about things that are not related to life, okay. Yeah, you could get bored with that. Yep. Okay, good. So where is your, where do you feel strong interest? Where is the strong interest coming in? Give me an example of where your affinity is very high on that topic. You have got strong passion and liking for it. I know some of you get very passionate about your workshop assignments, so that's, alhamdulillah, it's a very good thing. Where else do you get, what do you feel passionate about? Maybe, going to Umrah would make you very strong interest. Yes? Any examples? Come on, let's get some answers in the chat. Trying out new things, okay. Gardening brings you strong interest, yes. Hiking, wow, that's really nice. Okay, good. So we've got some answers there, and you can see your affinity level on some areas for some things is very low, on others it's a little higher, and on others it's much higher, right? And we all have this. It's part of life. And what we are seeing is that a human being and degree of likeness go together. Every person has that. Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with emotion. We feel this way or that way about everything. A child has got a very positive emotion for things, even, little things like ants or little rubbish or speck of dust or lights or anything. Naturally has a very high level of affinity, likeness for things, doesn't judge them, curious about them, passionate about finding out more about them. So you see how fast the learning of a child is as well on language and everything, because it's a very, affinity is so high for everything. So the understanding is also very high. So your affinity is there for the city, for food, for people, for family, for in-laws. You have to know your affinity level of things. It's important to know that. Why is it important? Because it's directly relating to your understanding as well of that area. So we see a lot of brackets here, and there are various scales on the net which show you the emotional scale. I'm not saying vouching for any one of them to be correct. Allah Ta'ala knows best, what is the true emotional scale, but there are a lot of them there. Some match, some don't match. You make your judgment about which one you want to look at. And we talked about affinity, consciousness level attracts consciousness levels, right? Did we say that? Yeah? People of the same consciousness level band together. Yes? I haven't got anybody there with me today.
Yes.
Okay, yes, thank you, Shema. So we are also saying affinity attracts affinity. Somebody in the level of fear is going to attract people of that kind. And covert hostility would be the same. So those people band together. So what happens at the low affinity levels? The mind closes off. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
It does close off because you're more centered into yourself. Yeah, you're not engaging with the present time. You're avoiding what is in the present time. Your perception is through your emotions, your past, your thoughts. You're looking at it through those through that lens. And that in itself prevents learning. You're likely to make wrong decisions, and you're likely to create issues instead of solving them. And it's hard for you to engage. I think we all notice that when we are in false self. It's hard for others to talk to us, and it's hard for us to talk to them. Yeah? Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we talked about the baseline consciousness level. What is the baseline consciousness level? Where you are for, a period of time. It could be
Yeah,
years.
most of the time.
Most of the time, it could even be years, months and years. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be your baseline consciousness. Right? And then something happens. God gives us a lot. Allah Ta'ala gives us a lot of signals to improve. I speak from my own experience as well. There's a lot of things that start repeating themselves, and you go, what is this? And there's a lesson to learn. I remember that, I had a major accident in Pakistan, and that shifted my whole consciousness level. And today, I consider that accident to be a true blessing because it shifted me out of what I was stuck in. So you will find that certain incidents in your life or something, it doesn't have to be major. It's something that keeps on repeating itself and you suddenly rise above. You can also go below. If you're going towards a materialistic life, you can go below. So we said the baseline shift does occur, and it's up to you to keep your vision there on what's going on in life. And if you're trying, you will rise in taqwa and first find out, what was keeping you down and learn a lesson from what was repeating itself in your life, and so I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of topics and person, you can be at a consciousness level, but certain topics can interest you so much that you can rise in consciousness level, or you can go down in consciousness level. And similarly with a person, depending on what you've had with them in the past, you can go, those fluctuations do occur, right? So I'm just going to go over this thing because this took a trend about a decade ago, the law of attraction. It took a real trend on the net. Everybody was running for it. People were making money out of this, that you can let any dream come true, if you follow the law of attraction. And basically, that was all it was saying was that if you have positive thoughts, and if you have, if your emotions are positive, you will attract good things, which we are also saying in the consciousness thing that you would attract that, if you stay above. But if you're in the lower range of hatred and fear and anxiety and all those things, then you would pull in bad things. Bad things will happen in your life. And so this whole methodology was being sold, or people were charging for it to get you up to the point where your dreams would come true. But of course, the methodology, unless you handle your belief systems, it's very hard to move people from there to the top level. I just wanted this there because so that you are aware of it. Should we do another quiz? Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, good.
Sure.
Sister Nika, do keep on telling me because I can't see anybody's face and I wish you'd show me your face, but I've asked so many times and nobody does it. Anyway, never mind. Let's go. So we got, you have to predict the affinity level between the person and what's going on. So Javed is not interested, not bothered about discussions on religion. What is the affinity level?
The low level.
No, which one?
Boredom.
Boredom. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Boredom.
Amjad gets red and starts swearing as soon as his brother shares his views. What is the affinity level between Amjad and his brother?
It's mild interest.
Who said that?
Hostility.
Hate.
Well,
Swearing हो रही है, red हो गया.
Hate.
no, it is not interested, not bothered. This
Hate.
Which one of these?
Anger.
Which one of these?
It's anger.
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 not interested is boredom.
Not interested is boredom. That's correct.
Yeah, why would I be angry? Yeah.
Okay. Sarah freezes as soon as she sees a spider on the wall. What's the affinity level between Sarah and the spider?
Fear.
Yeah, does everyone agree? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah,
Jared's
fear.
yeah, okay. Jared's passion motivates him to invent an air purifier. What's his affinity level?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Enthusiasm.
Okay. Seema is satisfied with the progress she's making in learning Arabic. What is the affinity level between Seema and her Arabic learning?
Mild.
Yeah, mild to you could say
Mild.
contentment. You could say contentment. We could
Yeah, contentment.
contentment. You could say that it's not there.
Yeah.
You'd be right in saying that.
Yeah.
Well, while appearing agreeable, RF expresses his hidden resentment to Human Rights Project by repeatedly forgetting to update files and accidentally deleting documents.
Covert
Covert. Covert
hostility.
hostility.
Covert hostility. Right. So affinity level is always present, and you're going to, inshallah, spot these affinity levels in ourselves and in others. Yeah. So here we look at, we are saying understanding is in everything, and understanding is a foundation for success, right? So what should it apply to? There's so much creation Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with, right? There are frightening creatures out there. There are beautiful creatures out there, plants out there that are poisonous, and then there are beautiful plants out there. There's this forest in Romania where it's very dark and dingy, and people go in there and then they come out and they really feel sick and vomiting, or they disappear in there for days, and then nobody can find them, and then they come back and they can't remember anything that happened there, right? So it's something that exists, and similarly here, the crater in Karakum Desert, it's the same thing. It keeps it's extraordinary. It keeps on going. So my question to you is, what should affinity apply to? Should it apply to some things and not to others? High affinity? Hello?
Yeah, the levels will be different, like some.
You see?
Yeah, I think we are kind of stuck.
You see, what we are saying is Allah Ta'ala has created everything. Everything has a purpose. Everything, whether it's an ant or a worm or a cow dung or acts of criminality, where wrong acts, evil acts are done. They are all created and they all serve a purpose. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
They all serve a purpose. So if everybody disliked this forest Romania, everybody hated it and was scared of it, would they ever understand it?
No, if
They
we
won't.
hate, we will not understand it.
You will not understand. So anything, even if you, hate a tiger or a lion, you're not going to understand anything. Because one of the things of understanding the component is affinity. You have to understand the present. You have to understand what is there, even if you want to change it. For understanding, you have to have a high level of affinity, of lightness for that.
I want to share something. Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
Actually, my son asked me a question when he was like 11 or 12. He asked me, why do you hate so much with to snake? Like, it is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then something clicked my thought, and I understand, no, yeah, I was wrong. Why was hating snakes? It's a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, wow.
So affinity is very important, and
Yeah.
we should like keep aside our like hatred or liking and everything. Then we can understand the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah. So we are saying it applies to everything. We should like everything. Even the problems we'll have to like to solve them. We'll have to have that understanding. If you hate it, you're going to create a barrier in looking and seeing. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
it's really true indeed.
You're taking it in, right? Let's just do a quiz then. To progress in any area, you must have understanding. Do you agree? Is it true?
Yes, true.
True.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Understanding has no parts. Understanding equals understanding.
False.
False.
It has parts.
It has parts. Okay. Understanding consists of three things: A plus B plus C and equals understanding. True?
Yes.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Proving any one of the three parts of understanding will lead to improved understanding.
True.
Okay.
True.
Good. Affinity means degree of likeness. It can be high or it can be low. True or untrue?
True.
True. Okay. Affinity means an emotional attitude towards something. It can be positive or negative.
True.
True. It is impossible to have understanding in a subject if you have low affinity for it.
True.
True.
Yeah.
It is
Ma'am,
impossible.
can you repeat this number 4? We need all three of them, A,
Yeah.
B, and C, yes?
Mhm.
So, improving any one of three parts of understanding will lead to improved understanding. Is it
Yeah.
false?
No, it's true. It's true. So if I was to increase my affinity, Abhi, you haven't studied the other two parts, right? If I
Yeah.
was to increase my affinity for you, I would have a good understanding with you. Yeah, but if I sat there and said, "Oh, I don't like blah 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 blah," my understanding would go down.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I don't know. I'm a little confused. I understand that. Yeah,
Sister
I need all
Shazia,
three of them. Yeah.
Sister Shazia, ma'am is saying that understanding consists of three parts. If three of them are present, then understanding is there. And then, while three of them are present, any of them will lead to increase of understanding.
Okay. So yeah, you mean we have done just affinity yet? So
Yeah, we've only done affinity. We're
we need
touching.
to go for others. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Makes-
So the last one is okay. It is
Ma'am,
impossible
I
to
have a
have
question.
understanding, Sister Shazia. It is impossible to have understanding in a subject if you have low affinity for it. True or false?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
good. All right. So here
Ma'am,
is
I
a,
have a question.
yeah, please.
Ma'am, this number 5 and 6, the point number 5 and 6, it means affinity means degree of likeness.
Mm.
But in 6, it is like should be positive or negative. I did not get this point.
Thinking,
Like, if it is
high or
likeness,
low?
then how likeness can be positive or negative?
Well, if you hate somebody, it's negative. If you love somebody, it's positive. Degree of likeness, if it's
Okay, I got it now.
okay, good.
Understood.
All right, that's good. So here are some people. If this lady came to your door, would you have a high affinity for her?
The
No,
first one?
Yeah.
No.
After this session, we will.
Okay, good. Thank you, Sister Shazia.
No, but
You
a
saved
stranger,
everybody.
I won't know the stranger, so I would be empathetic, but I won't have any more than that.
Yeah, empathetic is a good thing. That's a
Right,
high one.
but no connection, no
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah.
The point is that, supposing she becomes one of my students, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or one of your patients.
Then I would feel that
Yeah. You will have a high affinity for her.
very much. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we are saying is that we decide in the first instant, what is my affinity for this person? And that is not the right way to go about it. Because you close the door on what? You can't see anything anymore.
Yeah, we can't decide on the first impression, like
It is not-
something.
It's just an appearance.
We judge. We can't judge people in first look or first
Just love
meeting.
them. Sister Shama, love them. They are Allah's creation. Right? So if you create that judgment, you stop seeing, you don't listen properly, you're judging everything quickly, and you create a distance with that person. When you drop your affinity low, I don't like this person, not good enough for me. You know, look at the way they're dressed. Look at the way they walk. Look at the way they talk. You immediately judged and put your affinity low. That means you close the door on your understanding to that. Yeah? Does it make sense?
Yeah,
Oh,
true indeed.
I
Very
limit
true indeed.
myself.
Excuse,
Oh,
excuse me?
I limit myself that way.
I think we all need to, improve on it. Even on issues,
Mm.
we have to have a very high affinity for issues.
Mm.
Sunni issue, Palestine-Israel issue, India-Pakistan issue, high affinity. We are not going to understand it if we take sides and get biased about it all. So it applies to everything. Okay, let's move on. So we are going here onto consciousness levels, and we are saying, how high can you go in terms of affinity? How high can you go? Is there any limit to how much affinity you can have?
I think it's no limit. Like we
You
will limit.
You've experienced, Sister Shama, the love you have for your child. You know how high it goes. You know how high it goes.
Mm.
Yeah, you experience the love you have for Allah Ta'ala. It goes very high.
Yeah,
Right?
it's very high. Yeah.
Mm. And where does true understanding even begin to show? Where does it begin to show, even a glimpse of it? In the consciousness levels, what we have studied. Everyone.
Can you repeat it, please?
Where does understanding begin to show? In the consciousness levels, in the affinity levels, we were looking at this. Where does it begin to show? Will it show at hate?
No, when we
What did you
when
say?
we have high affinity level.
Yeah,
We
where?
will.
Where on the scale? Where on the scale?
Actually, I can't read it. It's very
Yeah, we
small.
covered it here. It's boredom. Boredom and below, you are not near understanding.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be above that even to start to understand something. Right?
Yes.
So when people say, I understand, what does it mean? They understood.
No, if they don't know the skills or
But you
knowledge.
have to watch their consciousness level and your own as well when you're saying, I understand. Because if you are in a low consciousness level, we don't understand.
Yeah, we don't understand.
We don't understand it. And we are not in the present moment. And we are not empathetic and we are not accountable. Everything goes down if we are in the low consciousness level. So we have to keep that, keep that in mind, that we keep ourselves up, and that is our target, to stay up. And then let's look at, how low does it go, how high does it go? So what happens at high levels of affinity? What happens at high levels of affinity? You have a lot of expanded curiosity. Why is this? How is this? Why doesn't it do this? You have a lot of questions. You're curious when you have a high level of affinity in an area. Have you seen yourself? When you have a high level of affinity, you ask a lot of questions. Even if you have a child and you're interested, you have a high level of affinity, you ask a lot of questions from the teacher or whatever. What's wrong? Why is it like this? Right? You're curious. You're into a deeper connection with that subject or with that person. You have a real positive engagement, and you're more
Yeah.
into finding solutions.
That's why a child is the highest level of consciousness level. He or she asks many questions.
Lot of questions.
Yeah.
Questions. Yeah. So that's what you reflects your high level of affinity, right? And when you're at low level of affinity, it blocks your understanding. You avoid things. There are a lot of misunderstandings if you are at lower level of consciousness. And the person is more focused on difficulties. Yeah, more on problems. This will happen, that will happen. What should I do? This, it's like the whole area gets a low level attention, which is the outcomes are not going to be good if the affinity level is low. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mr. Shazia, making sense?
This is actually my favorite slide. Mm.
This one, okay then. All right.
Yeah.
So here's one for you. Media. Media tries to create an affinity. It's driving you in a direction of affinity. What is it promoting? You have to be aware of that. It's promoting what? It keeps on promoting you. You should be like this. You should have a
Yeah.
body. You should. Where is it taking your thoughts on what thing?
It promotes hype of everything, like
Materially.
materialistic
Yeah.
thing.
It's say, okay, you should dress like this. You should look like this. Your hair should be like this. Your face should be like this. It's giving you the consciousness level that is in the materialism down here. It's always talking about these kinds of things that are here, right? And then what does it do? It shows you you're not like that. You're not that beautiful. Your skin's not like that. Your height is not right. Your shoes are not this way. This is the trend now. And you get low self-esteem, and you feel bad about yourself. And you think, okay, if I get these things, maybe I'll feel better. So the media is into commercialism. That's all I'm trying to say. That please watch what affinities they are generating in you, where they are putting your attention, and try and sort of escape from that area because they are just trying to make money. That's all they're doing. Yeah.
Yes. True.
Okay. So this was a survey done. Oh, isn't it coming? This one. A survey was done, and 85% of the women reported opting out of important life events because they don't believe they look good enough.
Whoa.
Yeah. So signs of a less healthy body image, signs of a healthy body image. You care more about how your body looks than how it feels.
Yeah.
Feeling is more important than look.
So you appreciate your body for more than its appearance. That's a healthy sign. You constantly worry about how your body looks. That's a bad sign. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
when people come over to ask me that they want to lose weight and how can I do that? And I ask them why do they want to lose weight? And not once I get anything like, so I could be healthy and run around with my kids, or I could do my household chores without aches and pains. I always get that, I want to look good in clothes. And
Yeah. It's very
Yeah.
sad because it's
it's
Because
really
the
sad
ultimate
that
goal is missing. Allah subhanahu wa
because
ta'ala.
their
That's
purpose
why.
is wrong. They're not going to last longer because they want to look good. They want to lose weight to look good. That's not going to last long. But if they want to get healthy, and that's going to last long because then they see the results. Anyway, just an
Yeah,
example.
true, true.
So basically, it's a trap, and they don't come out of it. It's just a round
Yes.
and round, round and round. They just keep going. It's never good enough. Even if they get to that one, they want something else because the purpose is out, as you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So relationships are key. They are very important. I was looking at a survey today. And the Reddit discussion said that in one person's ordinary average life, we meet about 80,000 people. We connect,
Whoa.
even whether it's a shopkeeper or a doctor or,
Mhm.
neighbor, it's about those. And, it's we only come down to about 29 relationships that are very close. And then as life goes on, we come to about 6 of them that are really close, that we maintain, So relationship,
6.
yeah.
Nice. Mm.
Uh, So what affinity level do you need to build the relationships? What have we concluded on that? What do you conclude? What affinity level should you have towards people?
We should high level of affinity level.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever their appearance, whatever, in our generation, it was really odd to have earrings, men having earrings, or women having all these lip or jewelry and everything. And automatically, I would do this. I would withdraw. I'd withdraw because I was brought up to think, what's that? That's not really, and I had to untrain myself. It's just not the reason to distance myself and withdraw my affinity. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have to watch out how we've been trained and whether it's the right thing or not. So
Yeah, it's in our culture, show off is very important part of life. So we need to look into it and reflect about and make an accountability. So I have a question, Fareeda. I'm allowed?
Sure.
Yeah, is it understanding in other meaning is reflection, like reflect upon everything in a relationship?
We're looking at in a relationship. No, we're not saying reflect here. We're just saying looking at it with Shama's understanding with another person, she has to first have affinity.
Sure.
Just finding that those components, making sure that you are now able to control your affinity. That is where you should be working, controlling that. So in Quran Pak, in Surah 30, Ayat 30, it said, O Prophet, peace be upon him, and his followers, turn your face single-mindedly to the true faith, which is the deen, the system, and adhere to the true nature on which Allah has created human beings. The mold fashioned by Allah cannot be altered. That is the true straight faith, again, deen, although most people do not know. So what is the true nature you are created on for affinity? What is the true nature on which you are created for affinity?
Fitra, to be
What is it? What level is it?
high conscious level.
Yeah. Is it a high
As
degree
a
of
true
affinity?
self.
Low
Yeah,
degree? किस पे create हुए हैं हम?
हम अपने true self पे
So where is the affinity in the true self? At what level?
High affinity.
high level of affinity.
Yes, very high level. The mold of affinity level that cannot be altered is very high level of affinity. We alter it. We bring it down. Yeah. So that is the level do you agree? We need to keep that there. Yeah. And then we look at the qualities of Allah Ta'ala, Rahman, Rahim, where we are saying have tenderness, gentleness, kindness, love, mercy, pity, favor, goodness, to have all that is required for being such. So our affinity level has to have these things. Do you think so?
Yes.
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 Yeah. The true nature on which we have created, we also have to be showing Rahman and be Rahim. And that is the mold on which we have been created, and it cannot be altered. When we come for the word Allah Ta'ala's name, one of the excellent names of Allah Ta'ala, Al-Wadud, and you look at that, and that is loving, affectionate, the most loving. Do you find that you have the most loving presence in your life of Allah Ta'ala? Yeah.
Yeah, we will feel when we are at high level of consciousness level.
Yeah.
Then we can feel, otherwise not.
Yeah. And we too have that capacity within our, just a human being. Allah Ta'ala has immense potential, but in that small capacity of being a human being, we have the capability of love. And that is part of our fitra or not?
Yeah, it's a part of fitra.
Yeah, and it should not be altered or molded, and we bring it down to different levels, right?
Yes, true.
So in Arabic, the word also used is hub, and hub is more of, it's an emotion, whereas vadud is a manifestation. That means you're actually expressing it. It's not something I would just feel for you. I have to actually express it in some way or form. I could do it in several ways. So it's not something you hold hidden in your heart. You have to express it. Are you expressing your love? Because God expressing, is Allah Ta'ala expressing His love to you?
I will express when I am at high
Yes.
level of consciousness level, or
Yeah, is
I'm
Allah Ta'ala expressing His love to you, Sister Jazia?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
it's unbelievable, non-stop love,
Non-stop. Constant. Yeah.
non-stop. Right? And that is what we are saying, that it's being expressed in one way or the other with all the rahmat that we receive every single day is His love. It's a sign of His love. And are we showing that sign in our relationships in some way? It needs to be shown. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah? Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
yes.
So in Surah 11, Ayat 90, and ask for forgiveness of your Rabb and turn unto Him in repentance. Verily, my Rabb is most merciful, most loving. Again, the word Wadud has come there. And also in 85 Surah, Ayat 14, and He's often forgiving, full of loving kindness. Again, Wadud has been there. So how high should our affinity level be in a relationship? What do you say? Tell me, how high should it be?
Very high.
Yeah. The highest possible?
Yeah,
What do you think?
true, possible.
The highest possible. We have to aim very high. We are not aiming high enough. Half the problems of the world would finish if we could operate at the high level of affinity. Our own problems will disappear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we are saying in a relationship, understanding is just not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing process that requires patience and effort from both sides. Yeah? You agree?
Yes.
And at
True.
the moment, we are
Yes.
trying to get ourselves right on doing it. So is this true for you? The more you understand, the more you love. The more you love, the more you understand. Is this true?
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Yes.
True. So it's easy, isn't it? All we have to do is increase our love for things, for everything, for everyone. And that would be opening the road to understanding for ourselves. Yes? Does that make sense? Is it a tough lesson?
No. Yeah. Makes sense. Very interesting. No, very interesting. Yeah. So many.
Yeah, okay. So this is just a quick quiz. I'm just going to leave you thinking about it more than anything else. So does a high affinity of your physical body impact on your affinity understanding for others' physical body? What do you think? Mr. Aswa, can you answer that question for me? Yes or no? Number one, yes or no? does a high affinity for your physical body,
No.
impacts on your understanding for others' physical body? क्या मतलब है? क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आई?
क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आया.
ओके, अगर मुझे अपनी बॉडी से, if I hate my body, am I going to care for your body?
No. If I
No.
hate myself,
Yeah, all my
relationship
attention on me.
starts with myself. Yeah. with
Yeah,
myself.
all my attention's on me. I will only find fault with your body, nothing else.
Yeah, it's false.
Okay, so the high affinity for your physical body impacts on you. It does impact. If I have a high affinity for myself, whatever it is, I'm fat, I don't look smart, whatever. If I have a high affinity for my body, I will have a high affinity for your presence, your body too. It
Yes.
impacts directly what you think about yourself.
Yes, true.
So this screen is just about you improving your affinity on yourself. Yeah? Sister
Yes.
Shashdev, does it make sense? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
इसी तरह knowledge को देखें. If you have a high affinity for your knowledge, even if you don't have the knowledge, but you have a high affinity for not having knowledge, right? It impacts on your affinity or understanding for other people's knowledge. So you have to have a high affinity and know yourself. I know this, I don't know this. You must accept that and have a high affinity for the amount of knowledge you have. Only then will you accept other people and improve yourself. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Good. And similarly for emotional intelligence, you have to accept I'm not an emotionally intelligent person. I need to improve. Once you do that, only then can you appreciate somebody else with emotional intelligence. Yeah? So we are
Yes.
talking about accepting yourself. We are saying affinity equals acceptance, good or bad. The top page, what I've written. Affinity equals acceptance, good or bad, equals determines understanding. You've got to accept yourself. You cannot live in a false version of yourself and then expect to have good relationships with others. Right? I think we got that one. What happens when your true self, to your true self, when you gain a high affinity for the false self in you? Can anyone answer that? What happens to your true self when you gain a high affinity for the false self in you? What do you think is the answer? Sister Shazia,
You will be in your false self, like, you will go very low on your conscious level.
Yeah, and true self start to die.
No. No. What
No?
happens to your true self? You
It
have
goes.
to understand the problem of false self. You have to have a high affinity. I get upset when my neighbor shouts at me. So I have to have a very high affinity for my getting upset when my neighbor shouts at me. Only then will I rise on the true self.
Hmm.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to accept it. Affinity equals acceptance of good or bad. You have to, whatever it is, we talked about spiders, lizards. We have to have a high affinity to gain any understanding. We have to have a high affinity for something that is not right in us. And so that we can understand it, locate the belief system behind it, and make it so poof when we are up that level of consciousness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
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 Okay, good. So can you truly help others move towards their true self if you have not first accepted the false self in yourself?
No.
Everybody agree with Sister Shazia?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
No.
You can't,
Yes.
you can't do it, can you? Can you
Cannot.
truly
Yeah.
help others? You can't help them unless you have done that. You have
Yes.
to first
True
accept the
indeed.
true false self in yourself. Is your level of self-acceptance the real measure of your acceptance of others?
Yes.
Yes, because understanding myself is the most important thing in any relationship or any.
Then only you can understand. If we are not looking at ourselves, how can we understand somebody else? Yes?
Exactly.
Yes.
Your relationship with yourself determine your relationship with others. True? Does it or does it not?
True.
Yes.
It
Yes.
does.
True.
Okay, good. So I hope you'll reflect on these areas more, because the journey is you are going to be the one to bring the change in relationships. So the stronger you are about yourself, the more truthful you are about yourself, the more chance you have of helping others. Yeah, and rising.
Mm.
So this brings us towards the end of the talk. We talked about understanding, it applies to everything, and we talked about affinity, how important it is, it applies to every single thing, right? And our job is to increase our affinity and stay at top levels of affinity. Whether it's a problem or whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, we have to have high degree of affinity to have understanding. Yeah, so this is our journey.
Mm.
Go up the level and inshallah take others with us towards purity, inshallah,
Inshallah.
through breaking the false self that we have created over time within ourselves. We'll come to the next week's
Yeah.
target, which is past the assignment 20 by the 27th of August. Then I'll inshallah put the survey form on. Any questions, please ask. Was it,
Yeah, I have a question, Sister
yeah.
Fareeda.
Was it a difficult thing? Did you find it hard? Was it okay?
I have a question. Can I ask?
Please ask.
Yeah, actually, I'm not differentiating any. Like, if I know tools and everything, and I find out about a person, he or she is narcissist. Am I judging or am I? After understanding a lot of understanding, high affinity level, and with tools and skills that I'm learning, I found out someone is narcissist. Is it a judgment or
Well,
is it
how
my
I don't think you should be labeling them that. Why would you label somebody like that? We said they could be anywhere on the consciousness level. It's not it's like calling a child stupid. Once you've done it,
Yeah.
the child thinks I'm stupid.
Mm.
It's not the right thing to do. We are not here to judge. Only Allah Ta'ala knows the truth, and these labels are not helpful. They're not helpful.
No, it's I'm asking. I find out like someone. I'm not judging that he or she has the consciousness level, but the personality differences I have with the person, and I
You
find
had them
like
medically evaluated?
no, not medically evaluated.
Well, then we
I'm
cannot label them because we are not
Label
professionals.
them. Take care. It's not right, Sister Shama, to label anybody. They are all creation of Allah Ta'ala. They are in false self. Let's help them through. That's our job.
okay. Sure.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah. Are you all filling up the survey form? Any other questions? Anything you want to ask? Yeah? No questions. Everybody understood it. Smoothly, you will go through the assignments then. Yeah? Hello? Everybody disappeared?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Sister Shazia. Everything was good. Did you understand it? Have you filled in the survey?
I will talk after the recording is over.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall and
So anybody has any questions on the material we just covered? No questions? Okay.
No
Let's just wind up.
questions, ma'am.
Stop the recording here. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Please remember the targets for this week, which I said was you have to do assignment 20 by the 27th of August. We've got 3 sessions upcoming. The next one is about marital relationships, gauging your own marital relationship. Tessa is giving a talk on that, and then we're talking about why aren't our kids leaders the weekend after that. And inshallah, we're arranging more talks for you as well. So please do attend. Thank you.